That's right. Oh, 15 seconds until you're 7:01, but we'll go with 7 o'clock, all right? That way everybody's happy.
Until now. Until now.
No, 6 seconds left.
Oh.
I mean, we can wait. We can wait here. 3,
that's okay.
2, 1. Boom! There you go. 7:01. 1 minute past the big hour, 7 o'clock. And KSIX Corpus Christi, 12:30 a.m., 95.1 FM. And you're listening live, baby. Live in a living color. Broadcasting live from Uptown Corpus Christi.
In living color.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, KSIX Corpus Christi, 12:30 a.m., 95.1 FM. Streaming live on the internet there at pudgenation.com. And, of course, you're listening to America's only rock and roll sports talk show. Also happens to be the only talk show in America that when it's all said and done, talk show host right side of history. Don't believe me? Ask Tom Brady. Call the show 884-1230, 884-1230. Text the show 361-884-1230. Let's see, the internet, sure, why not? Let's go to Instagram, Twitter, at On Air with Pudge. And then, of course, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m., top of each hour, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. We do Facebook Live. So, like, we're live right now. All you got to do is go to Facebook, type in Pudge Nation, 2 words, Pudge Nation. Like it and follow it, and you have access to all the mayhem known as the Halftime Report with Pudge. For instance, let's go to the love lines right now.
Oh, cool.
We got line 204. That's right. Hey, kids, it's everybody's favorite Carl in the world. Carl, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Pudge. I'm very sad to see Tom Brady come back because, quite frankly, the farewell address should have been the end of it.
No.
Very depressing. And Michael Gallup is signed. Great. Coming off surgery leaves a question mark. But now that all these people have all these cap numbers, I'm afraid we're going to lose Amari Cooper to cap.
Well, yeah, well,
We did.
no, we did. We're losing him to the Cleveland Browns. We're getting, I think it's a fifth and a sixth.
Yeah.
It's a fifth and a sixth round draft pick. That's what we're getting from Cleveland. It basically shows you that the priority was not to get, compensated for an Amari Cooper. The idea was we need some cap space, and that was a $20 million hit on the cap that the Cowboys were able to remove. And that way they get underneath the cap, and that way they have room because they did sign Michael Gallup to a 5-year, $62.5 million contract. So it looks like he will be our number 2 receiver. So, CeeDee Lamb on one side, Michael Gallup on the other. Schultz will be the tight end because he was tagged with the franchise tag. And Amari Cooper, coming off his worst season. Least amount of catches, least amount of yards, least amount of touchdowns. For the amount of money he was making, you would expect better. And Jerry Jones pretty much alluded to that. Not really mincing words right as soon as the season was over, saying he was disappointed in Amari Cooper. And but the Cowboys, I tell you what, they did Amari right because they could have just released him, in which he would not have been paid his loot. But by trading him to the Cleveland Browns are now on the hook on the final 3 years of his contract, where he's getting about $20 million a year. So Amari still gets his loot. And it's a risk for Cleveland to take, but it's a risk they can afford to take. Now that Tom Brady is back, because as recent as yesterday morning, Tampa Bay Buccaneers were entertaining the idea of going after Baker Mayfield. And so until yesterday afternoon, when Tom Brady said, "Nope, I'm going to go ahead and unretire and play for Tampa." So now Baker Mayfield is really entrenched there at Cleveland. And but he now has Amari Cooper to throw to. So, we'll see what Cleveland ends up doing with that. But, yeah, to me, the big headline, I'll tell you what, Carl, was the release of Greg Zuerlein. That was the big move, I feel, in the Cowboys roster this weekend because your kicker is, oh, my goodness, is a vital cog in the wheel of you winning a football game. He's the guy that you rely on when there's 3 seconds left on the clock. Let's march him out there, kick a 40-yard field goal. Let's go home and everybody have a good time. He scores more points than anybody else on the team because he's kicking field goals, he's kicking extra points. So your kicker's always your highest scorer on your team year in, year out. And yet Zuerlein, man, we cannot count on the guy. We cannot rely on him. He was not money for us. So that was tough. And so I think that was the big release of this whole so far off season. And it shows you that the Cowboys either going to use one of those draft picks or they're going to go free agent wise. But they needed to make a move with regards to the kicking game. So we'll see what happens there. All right. What do you think about Deshaun Watson, Carl? What's your thought on that? You got one?
Yes, I do. And as much as I'd like to see the Texans keep him, which that probably won't happen.
Nope.
There's a lot of places he can land. I'd love to see him land as a Seahawk.
That would be interesting. I mean, you go back to a very young Russell Wilson. You know, when Russell Wilson was truly fleet of foot, accurate with the throw, and not only that, but Deshaun Watson's taller. So for that little bugaboo that you have with Russell Wilson, where he's too short or whatever, you're dealing with a Doug Flutie situation, not with Deshaun Watson. I find it fascinating, though, that, I mean, the ink wasn't even dry yet, saying there's nothing to see here, boys, and teams were just lining up for Deshaun Watson. So, yeah, that'll happen pretty quickly as far as Deshaun Watson ending up with a team. It'll be interesting to see if they still have civil lawsuits against him, you know, and how that plays out. But as far as the criminal case is concerned, he's free. He escaped that one, and the NFL now should be pretty quickly wrapping up their investigation into him, and we'll see what kind of punishment he gets from the NFL, if any, or it was already time served, because remember, he didn't play last year. So we'll have to wait and see.
I just want him not to be on the Eagles, because they're in our division.
Well, as it is, we have Carson Wentz. You know, you got to wonder if Russell Wilson going to the AFC was something that Tom Brady considered. I mean, the path to the Super Bowl, one less quarterback he's got to deal with. He still has Aaron Rodgers. He now has Carson Wentz playing at Washington. But, but Carson Wentz, I think Tom Brady feels good about being able to take. Really, the only thing that I think Tom Brady's sweating as far as making it to the Super Bowl would be overtaking Aaron Rodgers once again. And Aaron Rodgers, now he got paid, so he'll be focused. And he's a reigning MVP. So, right now your prognosticators are going, all right, we're going to see a Tampa Bay, Green Bay NFC championship game. We'll have to wait and see. All right. Well, hey.
The Cowboys-Green Bay championship game, right? Cowboys-Green Bay.
I know. I said the prognosticators are saying that. I didn't say that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the prognosticators are saying that, So, all right. All right, Carl, have yourself a mighty fine, groovy Monday, all right?
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. There you go, kids. That's Carl on the Love Lines. If you'd like to call the show, 884-1230, 884-1230. That's how you get in touch with us. Or you can text us at 361-884-1230. That's the area code. Include the area code, kids. 361-884-1230. And sign the text, will you? That way we know who we're talking to. All right. Absolutely.
They practice prognology.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. Prognology.
Well, when you reach a certain age, you do have to go in for your prognostication checkup,
Prognology.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right. A weekend like we had, I'm eating my tangerine. So, I have a sudden urge for a Led Zeppelin song. What is the main story? What's the lead? Do we go local? Because if it's local, it's easy. It's the Islanders.
Yeah. Wow.
Now, as I was watching the selection show yesterday, at one point on CBS, are you able to hear me chew, or is that just me in my head?
Are you chewing in your head?
It's in your head.
It's in my head? Okay.
Yeah.
I know. I just had a moment. In the CBS broadcast of Selection Sunday, after all the tournaments were done, at one point they showed the brackets, and then they showed their ranking, right? Like who was the number one? They're saying Gonzaga's number one, right? They have the Islanders at number 68. Now remember, when it's all said and done, 64 teams make the big dance, but there's 4 teams that are playing for the last, 2 spots, I guess, right? Well, okay. Last 4, there's 8 games? No. 4 games, 8 teams? Okay. Okay. They have the Islanders at number 68. So what the committee is showing is that the lowest seeded team, which is number 1 is Gonzaga. That's the top.
Yeah.
The bottom is number 68. And in the minds of the committee, A&M Corpus Christi is that team. They're number 68. At which point I go, okay, that means we've already won. We've already won. I mean, you don't go for the moral victories, but let's be honest. We only won 5 games last season. That's the reason. I mean, hello, Coach Lutz, right?
Yeah.
And even Coach Lutz, you got to figure they probably told him, look, we don't, we understand you're building your team, you're building your culture. If you win 6, we're already moving. Hey, we're already moving in the right direction, right? Okay. Well, Coach Lutz goes and drops a 20 on everybody, where we win 20 games. Everybody's like, whoa. Okay, we didn't see that leap happening, but you know what? That's great. All right. We won 20. Good for you. Wow. All right. You know what? We're moving quicker than we thought. All right. But, great job. And we'll build off of this next year, But Coach Lutz wasn't done. We go to the tournament. We're the 4th seed. We only get 1 bye because if you're like the number 1, number 2 seed, you got 2 byes, right? So like when we played Nichols, who, by the way, Nichols had swept us this season, okay? We hadn't beaten Nichols the whole time. And now all of a sudden, boop, there you go. Yeah, I mean, we had no business winning.
We dropped a dime on Nichols.
We had no business winning the Southland Conference tournament, right? And yet, we go Saturday, and we beat, who was that? Louisiana? Southeast? Yeah, Southeast Louisiana. Home of the Lions. You be lying.
One of them directional Louisiana teams.
Absolutely. And we go and win the tournament and qualify for the big dance. I mean, once again, this time last year, if you go, all right, I know right now everybody's licking their wounds, but you do realize this time next year we're in the big dance, right? Everybody was like, okay, has anybody checked his meds? Is he off his meds again? Right? Okay. Yikes. I mean, so right now, we qualify for the tournament, and the committee looks at us and goes, yeah, but you're number 68. So basically, you're the last one in.
And Pudge, I know you're disappointed that there's not a 69 team.
Well, it's fun to dream. So realize we're playing Texas Southern Tuesday. Tip-off time 5:40, right? In Dayton, Ohio, as one does. Any game we win is a holy cow moment. It's a bonus. Yeah, it's like, once again, any game we won beyond 6 wins, right, was gravy. It's grave. I mean, that was anything after, if you won 6, if we had only won 4 this year, you still couldn't bitch because we were going, look, last year we won 5, we changed regimes. It's a new coaching staff. It's a new culture. We had a whole bunch of new guys come into to our team that were transfers. Hey, learning curve here. And you're going, yeah, I get it. We only won 4. Okay. And you still would have been able, but no. Everybody like, if you can win 6, hey, okay. No, 20 games later, we're like, and even then in the middle, remember Coach would call us in the middle of the season. We lost track of them. Why? Because they were in a big time lull. They were losing games, and Coach didn't want to talk to anybody. He was focused on getting the guys back in line, right? And so he comes back on the show and look at them, and they're starting to win games again, right? And so for them to go and win 20, that right there, anytime you get any college basketball team to win 20, that's like the magic mark. You win 20, you're like, hey, that was a good season, fellas. If you win 20, if you're in a different league, like if you're in the Big 10, if you're in the Big 12 and you win 20, at that point, everybody's looking at you going, well, okay, you're going into the big dance because of the conference, right? Now, Southland, of course, is not a Big 12. It's not a Big 10. It's not an ACC. It's not, there's none of those, right? Okay, but we get it. But, all right, but still, you got to play. Not our fault. That's our league. Okay, you play who's scheduled. Let's not forget. And this, once again, is where Coach Lutz did a great. We played Notre Dame, who, by the way, is playing. They're a play-in team. Yeah, they got a play-in game. And we played what? Minnesota, right? Okay. The Gophers. So we played some games against some Division I teams where it was like, okay, this is big time, boys. This is not Nicholls State. This is not Texas Southern. This is not, and fill in the blank. No, this is Notre Dame. There's touchdown Jesus. Right? What? Right. Okay. So the bright light of playing. Oh my goodness, we're in, the boys, the fellas are good. They've already did that. They already played it. And then to top it up, the game was on ESPN2, the Deuce, right? It wasn't on the Ocho. It was on the Deuce, right? And so the fellas, they played that game, and under the bright lights and on cable TV and on an ESPN, and it wasn't just like, oh, we're online. No. This is like a real, hey, you guys are on the schedule. You guys, mom and dad were able to go sit in the living room, turn on the TV, and put the game on, right? And the guys, now granted, we started slow. We had to, work our way in. By halftime, it was a game, and then second half, we owned them, right? Bonus round. And so now, there is absolutely no way anything can happen where there's no scenario where you go, oh, man. No. We passed that after win number 6 after that, right? So congratulations to A&M Corpus Christi. They're playing a Texas Southern team. Both teams are seeded at number 16. So keep in mind, the winner of this game between A&M Corpus Christi and Texas Southern gets the fun task of playing Kansas. Yikes. Yeah. So, but once again, it's not like A&M Corpus Christi hasn't played a big, under the bright lights, right? So, you never know. That's why it's the big dance. That's why it's the big dance. And so right now you don't want to get too far ahead, so that's why I'm saying it before I get on the phone with Coach. But A&M Corpus Christi, if they win this game, which is in Dayton, Ohio, they go to Fort Worth. And that's where they play Kansas. Because Kansas is the number 1 seed and of their bracket, right? Their quadrant. Yeah, and so that is being played in Fort Worth. So let's just see what happens with the Islanders. But congratulations on making the big dance. That's awesome. Yeah. Seeing here, ESPN's reporting that the New Orleans Saints are interested in Deshaun Watson. I counter by saying, who isn't interested in Deshaun Watson? I think what it is now is who's going to make the best offer to the Houston Texans. And thankfully, Bill O'Brien is not sitting by the phone to consider this, because he would look at it and go, no, I want worse than that. Yeah. Easy for you to say. Yeah, no, he is. Man, when did you sound like, all of a sudden you sound like Peter Jennings or Tom Brokaw. Coordinator. Do that again. Is that what that was? Tom Brokaw in the house, man.
Yeah. That's good, Mike. Keep it up.
All right. So, Coach Steve Lutz, immediately you're going to go, so how long do we have Coach Lutz? He's going to say all the right things.
I was wondering that,
He's going to say and good for him to say all the right things. Oh, come on. Yeah, you take a program from... Yeah, that was weird. I understand that the NCAA came out with, done with their investigation and listed infractions, big-time infractions that LSU had done under this coach's regime. But, here they are getting ready to go into the big dance, and they blow out their coach.
A couple of years ago, the LSU suspended him for a while.
Well.
He got his gig back.
Well, he's out. So LSU, which keep that in mind when you're putting your bracket together, LSU, which I think it's a 9 versus 8 or something like that with LSU. And so you're going to go. I'm not going to pick LSU to come out of their first round. There's too many distractions for LSU on that one. Man, there's all sorts of stuff going. Popovich winning. Once again, there were so many things that happened this weekend that you could say would be in a normal weekend. There's your lead story, right? Popovich becomes the winningest coach in the history of the NBA, right? And he right now is like way at the bottom. It's like, all he did was become the greatest coach in the history of the NBA with regards to wins. Yeah. He's got more wins than Red Auerbach. For all the cigars that Red lit, not as many as Popovich, right?
No, Pop's got the boxes of the line.
He's got more wins than Phil Jackson, right? Which I love that part. That just warms my heart. What's Phil going to say? Yeah, put an asterisk by that. Yeah, up yours, whatever, right? Okay. So he's got more wins than Pat Riley. Think of every coach you've ever known. Who's your favorite NBA coach? The list is long and distinguished. Think of all, think of all your Houston Rocket coaches. Think of your Dallas Maverick coaches. Think of your coaches of the years past of the Lakers and the Celtics and the Pistons. Popovich, he's outperformed all of them. And I did the math earlier. We were talking about it last hour. Okay, 1,336 wins. Now you're going, okay, whoopee-doo. Okay, well, here, hang on. Let me put it in perspective for you. An NBA season, because remember, the record is for regular season games. This doesn't include postseason. If you were to include postseason, Popovich even has more wins, right? Okay.
Way off the charts.
Okay, so, regular season, 82 games. For years, we made a big deal on Popovich and the Spurs winning 50 games for 20 seasons in a row. Okay, well, 20 seasons in a row of 50 wins, that's 1,000 games. That's 1,000 wins right there. Okay? You still have 337 more games to win before you are surpassing Popovich. Which, once again, if you go at a 50 clip, that's what, 6 more seasons? 7 more seasons?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that is 27 seasons you're going to have to go of winning 50 games or more. Now, show me that team right now.
And to put it in perspective, Pop has won a game every day since the 90s.
What? Dude, what are you doing in your laboratory this morning? Are you smoking in there? Yeah, you know, there was like
Dexter's Laboratory.
unbelievable. There's like I think 7 franchises that Popovich has more wins than the franchise does. He has more wins than New Orleans Pelicans. He's got more wins than the Orlando Magic. He's got more wins than the Minnesota. And I'm talking the history of the franchise. You know, I mean, think about that for a second, right? You're an entire franchise and you don't have as many wins as Popovich does.
This is sounding more and more, mathematically like one of those records that's never going to be broken. It's kind of like, Wilt Chamberlain. You look at
Right.
him on the all-time scoring chart.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just ridiculous.
10,000 women. Once again, do that math. 365 days in a year.
Yeah.
So 10 years, that's 3,600, 3,650, right? So 20 years is 7,300. Okay, it's 20 years, one a day, and you still haven't hit 10,000. You still have 2,700 more to go. Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just tired thinking about doing the math over here,
Wasn't the record I was talking about, but good one to bring up. Yeah. At all time.
Okay, I'm the ass in the room. I mean, the guy wrote it in his book,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
Emmett's. How many yards did he end up with?
A lot.
Yeah, and it's like no way, because like right now, in the NFL, running back is not your premier thing that it used to be.
Ooh, no. So, yeah, when you see the quarterbacks racking up the yards right now, well, they're playing 7-on-7 drills is what the NFL is now, right? And not only that, but it's very safe now to be a quarterback. You are protected with a nice little bubble cocoon-looking Farfignugan thing to keep you safe. Nobody's grabbing you by the face mask and making a twist.
Right.
Nobody's picking you up, a la McMahon, and throwing, pile driving you into the ground. It's a whole different league. I mean, you do something like that now, man, you're suspended for games.
Right.
In a season. And not only that, but you're looked upon as being evil and bad. Your career's done. You're just a bad boy. And all that. Nobody wants to sign you. Blah blah blah. It's a whole different world now. Nobody's going for your knees, a la Namath.
Yeah.
So, with Tom Brady, we've now reached the Brett Favre portion of the show. Remember Brett Favre couldn't take a hint and just kept going from team. He was with Green Bay, then he went to the Jets, then he ended up with Minnesota, right? Something like that, or was it the other way around?
Tom's not going to be showing phone things.
No. Who, Brady? Oh, I tell you what, I bet you his are prettier. I'm just saying. Only Tom Brady,
I choose not to speculate.
only Tom Brady would be able to go, hey, mine's prettier than yours, I mean, his is, even that's tan. He even got a tan on that one, It's like Wow, you tan bed that too, huh? No, all natural backyard swimming pool. There you go. Yeah. Anyway, that's when you know you are the you are the GOAT. When even your we're calling them your phone pics are even like, wow, that's when you got grown ass men going, that's a pretty good picture actually, So just say, wow, that took a turn. Anyway, Tom. So anyway, but yeah, Tom Brady basically is now reached the Brett Favre portion of his career where, you think he's going to retire. Because remember, Brett Favre there, those final 4 years of his career.
Yeah.
It was all, it's like, all right already, you're done, right? Like, I got one more, and he's going to keep going,
Does this mean Tom Brady's going to start throwing in the triple covers?
Here's what's going to happen. Well, no, Tom Brady's going to keep playing until the arm goes. Unfortunately, there's only two ways we're going to see Tom Brady leave. And it's sad because both of them are just horrific ways to go.
Yeah.
One is that the arm's going to go. And he's going to try to throw that 15-yard out, and it's going to look like a kid from Pee Wee threw it. It's going to take forever to get out there. And the cornerback is actually going to order from the concession, let me have 2 dogs. Put some chili and cheese on those. All right, who wants a pretzel? Anybody? Pretzel? You? All right, my linebacker would like a pretzel. And burgers for the lineman. And you know what? Our kicker would like a chicken tender basket, if you don't mind. Okay. Oh, wait, hang on. I got to catch this. Boom! There you go. All right. Pick 6. Run the other way. Spike the ball. And so anyway, how much is that going to be? It's going to be like that because it'll take forever for the ball to get to the out pattern. And his arm, and it'll be sad to see what once was this prolific arm that was accurate and can make the throws, and now it no longer can. And that's going to force him to retire. And that we have to, it's like watching a fighter.
We saw it with Drew Brees this last season. We saw it with Kenny Stabler his whole time with
Peyton.
the Oilers.
Look at Peyton.
Yeah.
With his neck and the whole bit. Okay. Yeah. And that's a sad way to see some guy, instead of leaving, who am I to judge? Would it be easy for you to leave on top? No. When you still can play? No. But unfortunately, that's how we're going to have to watch him go. The worst way to watch him go is, and I'm hoping it doesn't happen, say what you will about Tom Brady, but an injury. Lands awkward, somebody sacks him, freak play, whatever. Somebody gets blocked into him right in the knees, whatever. The guy is a statue.
Yeah.
He has no speed. He's not going to run anywhere.
Right.
So in the melee that's known as the pocket, anything can happen. And it would be so sad that to see him get carted off the field as his last time on the field. You don't want to see that. Michael Irvin, he used to say that over and throughout his career. He would say, no player wants to be carted off the field. No player wants to. And then that's what happened to Michael Irvin. It was almost like he manifested it in that he was like, he kept saying it so much that he ended up getting carted off the field. His last play of the game, against the Eagles, and he never played again because of the spine injury. And unfortunately, it's going to be one of those two ways that we're going to, that's how they're going to get Tom Brady off the field. Because the guy, when the season starts, will be 45 years old. So what's he going to do? Go till he's 50? He wants to be, George Blanda? Is that his goal? Is he wants to be, going to change his number to 50 that final season? The only quarterback in the history to wear 50, something like that. You don't know, but that's think about it. That's 5 years from now. That's a lot of football. That's a lot of football, and I understand today's 50 is yesterday's 40, or whatever, and whatever his regimen is that he's all about, his TB12 and all that stuff. But 50 is 50. You throw that many times with your rotator cuff in your shoulder. You throw that many passes, whether it's in a game or it's in practice or just goofing around on Thanksgiving Day with the kids. That's a lot of throwing. I don't care what you've done. I don't care how many kelp shakes you've drank. It's like, I'm sorry, dude, but that shoulder's old. But yeah, Tom Brady's back now. Tampa Bay has to figure out what they're going to do because, we don't really know what was said behind closed doors. Are they really happy that Tom Brady's back, or had they already put it in their head? Okay, we're going to go young.
Yeah.
Let's go find. Let's go. Well, they were thinking about Baker Mayfield, right? So. Now all of a sudden, no, we love the 45-year-old quarterback playing forever. Yeah, no, welcome with open arms. We love having him. All right, boys, strike. And all of a sudden, there you are, back with the record at full speed. All right, let's take a pause for the cause. When we come back, we'll continue with what's known as what was a crazy weekend in sport. Just so much stuff going on. Halftime report with Pudge, back after this. All right, I want to thank everybody for checking in with us. Look at that. Oh, what a pretty sunrise. Let's take a look here. Sunrise. There you go. That's Cape Verde. That's our view. All right. Have yourself. Oh, Tom, you're watching. Have a good time, everybody, with your Mighty Fine Monday. We'll see you at the golf course later on tonight. Monday Night Madness. 5:30 tee time. Talk to you later. Peace.